And the fact that you said that it charted so well or did so well,
Yeah, that
goes back to the point that I made earlier. People have been waiting for a new Kiss album since 1978.
I was going to say, where are you located?
Yeah.
I'm actually in upstate New York.
Okay.
And Charlie's near Chicago and Tom's in Boston.
Okay.
So we kind of have this long distance working relationship as far as, so that does make it difficult. We've talked about getting together and actually I think we would do 10 times better if we could sit in a studio over a couple days and everyone kind of, because that disconnect is a real thing. I love digital recording and it's super handy, and I've done a lot of session work and all this other stuff, and it's handy for sure. But there is something to be said about being in the same room, everyone in real time sharing their thoughts, and one tiny little suggestion could make a world of difference. And that's something I'd like to see in the future, get us all into one room and really see what we could pull off.
I hope that happens. I was going to ask you, aren't you a songwriter and a performer on your own stuff? Don't you?
I am. So this is quite the interesting career I've had. So I actually sing country music.
Yeah.
I'm performing all the time with a country group. I work with I don't know if you know who Luke Bryan is, but
that sounds familiar.
He's a host on American Idol now. That's probably what he's notable. Wow, but he's a pretty big country star. Anyways, huge. I work with his band a lot and writing and recording. So I've done a lot of fun stuff in that area. But deep down, the rock side has always kind of had a really good grip on me, and I've loved it. That was my first true love was, rock music, especially Kiss. But, my family growing up, they were all, my uncles and my mother and my father, they were all country, musicians. So it was funny to have that, once again, that differential of, oh, wow, that's, quite a jump to go from singing like Paul Stanley or playing, Bruce Kulick's leads in a tribute band or, 80s Kiss cover band with Chris Jericho and then go and sing a country song somewhere. It's a very interesting and weird sometimes. I tell my brothers, I spent my whole life trying to be a country singer, but I've had these really cool opportunities with the Kiss thing, and I love it. I love all of it. I like the fact that I could say that, well, I've done this project, I've done that project. I mean, here I am, a country singer, and I did backup vocals for a group called Lordy. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of them.
Yeah. I knew that. They dress crazy.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
They were managed by Bill Aucoin also. Okay.
And aren't they in English? Are they an English band?
From Finland. So they're Finnish. Yeah. Right. Anyway, they were managed by Aucoin before Aucoin passed. And they were doing during COVID. I think it was during COVID. They said, we're going to release like 7 albums all at once. And I was like, wow, more power to you. But what it was a 7 album box set on vinyl. Whoa. And every album had something that they were influenced by. One of them was just strictly 70s Kiss. So they hired Tom and I to do all these, whoa yeahs and, what have you, like insert, Gene Simmons, style scream, ad libs. There you go.
Yeah.
Or backup vocals. We did like harmonies, and
I like how you said, the whoa yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to throw that in. Or
And
there was. Yeah, exactly. So we did backup vocals on a Lordy record. Like seven songs on a Lordy.
That is going to be hard to beat. That is hysterical. That because of your Kiss love and fanaticism and ability to impersonate vocally, to be hired for that is, that's not something you would ever like, I know what I'm going to do with my life.
Right.
That's
hilarious. It's definitely interesting, and I sometimes joke about it, but in reality, I'm pretty lucky. This cat's going nuts.
Yeah,
I'm pretty lucky to, I've made so many awesome KISS friends, and it's amazing. Growing up in school, going through high school, and the only people I had that loved KISS as much as me, or even to any level. I grew up going to school during the grunge era. And it was really tough because no one loved this music, and everyone was like, "Oh, KISS, they suck." And you almost feel alone. And then once my brothers graduated, I was like, "Okay, it's just me now." And now I got to try to defend myself as a KISS fan, while Green Day and Pearl Jam and what have you are being released. And man,
are probably KISS fans.
Exactly. So getting to that point where in my life where it's come full circle, and now 90% of the contacts in my phone are KISS fans. That network has grown, and it's like I get to, like, we're doing a tour with a mini tour with Jericho, doing this 80s KISS thing, and that's just a fun little, like, you get to get out on the road and play KISS music with Chris Jericho, and it's just like, man, this is crazy. You feel so alone in school as a KISS fan, and sometimes you're like, boy, my friends think KISS sucks, whatever. But now, like I said, and you guys probably have experienced similar things.
It was kind of the same way in our generation. Like, I remember being a kid on the school bus and being into KISS, and all the older kids thought that was kiddie stuff because they were into Zeppelin and Ted Nugent and Black Sabbath and Aerosmith, and KISS was for children, and they sort of dismissed them. And you were like, "What? This is like the coolest thing ever." So, yeah, I think it's a generational thing where you've kind of always had to sort of fight for your fandom, if you will, if you were a KISS fan.
It can take.
And then it's funny that you mentioned the grunge thing, because the Melvins put out a record where the cover looks like a KISS record, and I think there was an entire grunge album that came out in the 90s that was all grunge artists doing KISS cover songs. So
Kiss My Ass thing.
That's right. There you go. So we go ahead.
No, I could just never understand that. Everyone's like, well, Kurt Cobain was a KISS fan. In fact, he stole a KISS t-shirt or a KISS lunchbox and got in trouble back. And they did a cover of Do You Love Me, which is probably the worst cover of Do You Love Me, in my opinion. But I'm just like, how do you explain that, back in 1994, 95, when everyone else is like, no, they're not KISS fans. It's because, the way they perceive themselves, and, like the rock star, almost like they were not ashamed, but like didn't want to say it too loud because it might ruin their credibility. And to me, it's like, and all these years later, to see that, that everyone, I wasn't crazy, like this was worth all of the shit that I took,
I was saying,
from friends.
I was saying a minute ago, it can take a lifetime to find your people.
Absolutely.
You have to go through those odd years, and then during those odd years, you're wearing a KISS t-shirt, you're glutton for punishment.
Mm-hmm.
I had a different KISS t-shirt for every day of the week.
Yeah,
I got pummeled. The jocks.
I did too.
Yeah,
the jocks did not like that because I figured it out. I think their parents wouldn't let them grow their hair and wear t-shirts.
That makes sense.
Their parents made them wear button-ups and khakis and shit like that.
It's so funny.
That feel of freedom did not exist. It was like, if you're going to try out for the football team, you're going to try out for quarterback. And if you join the army, you're going to be the fucking general. And if you're not, I'm going to kick your ass. That was their home.
Exactly.
And I didn't have that, so.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. And real quick, circle back to your KISS shirt for every day of the school week. And then some. That was me to a T. Like, no joke. Like, people, I think, it's easy to kind of pinpoint looking back. Yeah, that might have been overkill, but at the time you wanted to fly the flag, man,
I have a picture of me wearing a Destroyer shirt, a KISS logo hat with the the metallic Kiss belt buckle. I have this photo.
Oh, nice.
I'm a fucking billboard. I look ridiculous. I look like I've had a lobotomy or something because of all this garbage that I'm wearing, and I'm wearing it so fucking proud. And I wish I still had all that shit, because it kind of formed what this is,